Hi, everyone. This is Allison Angelis, your host of the Silicon Sanctuary podcast YouTube channel, Allison Angelis. Welcome. Thanks for listening again. Thanks for listening to the past episodes. We've had several great ones. I have my list on the board of all the ones that I've been speaking on. And the last one, we talked about the subtlety of compromise. If you haven't heard that one yet, go back because that was a very interesting, little bit more of a mini episode. But another little mini episode I'd like to talk about is the subtlety of, or the non-existence, I should say, of reverence. So I was thinking about this topic the other day, and I was thinking about how we interact with others and how we come in very often in a state of skepticism and judging, mostly judging and skepticism. They kind of go hand in hand. One of the exercises that I give a lot of my clients is a victim judge day where they journal. They have a notebook that I give them, and then I have them journal on all the incidents that they have where they're aware of places where they're judging throughout the day or being in a victim state. So most people resonate in the state of judgment. So it can be very overt, it's very frequent, and it could also be very subtle and insidious as well. So what does that look like? When you first interact, notice. It's so fascinating. If you're ever bored in the house, you can right now play this game where you go out in the day and notice, or you could even do it in your own house and start noticing the things, not only people that you're judging, but the things that you're judging. And also even more can be very effectual is to notice where you're judging yourself. Very often, the minute you wake up in the morning, you look in the mirror, what is the first thing that you say to your mind? Is it something positive, or is the first thing you look at, like, is it, a bad hair day or something about your face or your body or the way that you feel that's negative and judging and critical? So, but I'm talking about when I was originally speaking on the realm of reverence. And this is something that I just thought about the other recently. And I started realizing that we don't use reverence when we speak to other humans, and that we really need to start seeing people from their highest self and their divine self, so their divine spark, and seeing how remarkable every individual has something so profound and so deep and so remarkable within them to share with you. If you seek that, you will find that. But what often happens is we actually do most often, think about it, the opposite. We're looking for flaws. We're looking for negativity. We're looking for judgment. We're comparing, we're contrasting ourselves. So when we compare and contrast, someone always has to be greater and someone has to be lesser. So these are subtle, insidious mind states that have been socially conditioned, probably genetically conditioned, epigenetically conditioned in every way. But this robs us. It robs us of the experience of feeling the divinity of others. And the way to get that is to, one, have this awareness of where we're judging. And then from that state of awareness that you're doing that, don't give the judgment credence. Like often we feel we want to validate our judgments because what do we get out of it if we judge others? Because then we're greater than, right? So we're superior, and that it gives us something in the lower vibrating realm of frequency. But again, it robs us of the experience of one, seeing the divinity in others, learning from others, and getting the love that others have to offer, because all people, they all have love to offer. People cannot give love to you if you're blocking it with your judgment. So back to the journal, the victim judge journal. So the judge journal, just notice, take little notes. You can enumerate it and see how many judgment thoughts that you have during the day. It is prolific. I will think that for you that it will be prolific. And it doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. The thing that matters is just the first off is to have the awareness that you are, that's what's happening in your mind. Okay. So back to the reverence thing, I started having an awareness that I had a desire to be with, like-minded, equal intelligent, creative, genius like people that are really doing like high level mindful things. And I really wanted this community that are people that were equal or greater than. Another, by the way, very subtle judgment there, but I was feeling fear and lack that I wasn't receiving it. I wonder why, because there was a block where I was judging others and I wasn't allowing them to have to see their spark of divinity, to see their genius, and everybody has it in them, and actually being able to receive love, because you're blocking that. You're blocking that. So here's one really profound incident that I found. I started working with a very well-known, a published author in the realm of mindfulness, a brilliant man, older, a senior to me, just a beautiful, beautiful soul. And I started working with him regularly, sometimes once a week and sometimes up to 2, maybe 3 times a week. And I noticed as time went on, I started to get into an old paradigm of judgment and feeling not enoughness, that he wasn't enough, it wasn't enough. And then I started slightly slipping into the realm of judge and critic. And then I couldn't receive his love. I was actually starting to, through my energy level, bring his energy level down to match mine. And then when I had the awareness about it, I started having this feeling of reverence. And I started seeing that I started feeling such deep gratitude that when I thought about my life and how improbable it was that I would meet and be working with somebody at this level, knowing that, my background of difficulty that I came from, that this was such a phenomenal godsend to me. And it was a gift. It was a gift of God to be working with this individual. And then I started feeling reverence. And so when I started coming into the meetings with him, I fully immersed myself in the feeling of reverence. And as I immersed myself in, this is a teacher, I'm allowing this person to teach, instead of this egoic stance of where I was trying to be an equal to him, and then feeling reverence and actually seeing him above his human form, as a, really actually, channeling much higher level of consciousness is what he was doing. When I started to see him like that and I started to allow this, and I actually invoked the feelings of reverence, then we started having these incredible meetings that were mind-blowing and so profound and so beautiful. And not only were they for me, but they were for him too, because I was allowing him through my energy state to become his fullest level of divine self. And this is an example of what we all can do with anybody. If we start seeing the humanity of every person, that every person has a story, that every person has a gift, that every person has, this profound, deep connection to source, and in my belief, in my beliefs, for many lifetimes probably. And that when I started treating people with reverence, which we all deserve, then they responded accordingly. And then I was able to receive knowledge and love from them, and I could give that back to them in return. And that would be my impact for the day that I was seeing people with reverence. And that's what you can do too. Notice it today when you go about your day. You can start, if you want, with the judgment victim journaling. And victim is I didn't really talk about that, and I don't want to digress too much, but the victim piece of the journaling is about, it's the feeling of self-importance that something is happening to us, that we're not in control of our lives, that something is being afflicted to us, and that we're playing this role. And I would say fewer people do this, playing the role of a victim. And it looks like things like, why am I always caught in traffic? Why doesn't anybody like me? Why does this always happen to me? Why does somebody else always get things I never do? I never win. I never fill in the blanks. And it's a victim mentality, and it disempowers us from our true power, which is that all things are possible with us, that we're creating our own reality. Okay. We're creating it, and then we're inviting other people to co-create with us. And so if you're in the victim stance, just notice it. I very rarely go into the victim stance, because that was offered to me very early on, and I didn't want to participate in that. I was around many other people that lived very deeply in those states, and I saw how disempowering it was, and it was very unattractive to me. And so I didn't choose that, but I became very judgmental. And so look at which realms that you fall into. Just notice it, have awareness about it. Don't judge it. Don't judge yourself particularly. And then after that, start playing with the role of reverence for all other human beings, and see if you can receive their gift and their love, and at least give to them your reverence. Okay, I'm Allison Angeles. Let me know what you think below. Feel free to subscribe or like, share, and comment. You can reach me on Instagram through my DMs. I answer all my questions or comments. If you'd like to be on the podcast, do let me know, and we'll be talking to you soon. Look at my YouTube channel. I don't know if this is going to be on my YouTube or my podcast, but I'm looking forward to hearing any other topics that you want to talk about too. Thanks.